Jésus vit éternellement, il vit au siècle des siècles. Le paralytique marche, Jésus à jamais. Oui, il fait le jour, Jésus à jamais. Il vit éternellement, Jésus vit éternellement. Il répand sa beauté de grâce, Jésus à jamais. Oui, il vit éternellement, Jésus à jamais. Jésus vit éternellement, il vit au siècle des siècles. Le paralytique marche, Jésus à jamais. Oui, il fait le jour, Jésus à jamais. Il vit éternellement, Jésus vit éternellement. Il répand sa beauté de grâce, Jésus à jamais. Oui, il vit éternellement, Jésus à jamais. Jésus vit éternellement, il vit au siècle des siècles. Le paralytique marche, Jésus à jamais. Oui, il fait le jour, Jésus à jamais. Il vit éternellement, Jésus vit éternellement. Il répand sa beauté de grâce, Jésus vit à jamais. Oui, il vit éternellement, Jésus vit à jamais.
Singing in the choir with us, the second historical choir of Celestial Church of Christ. He was Papa Agbosi was assistant Alaba, singing in that second historical choir with us at Porto Novo, Ajacha, Supreme Headquarter of Celestial Church of Christ. I will show you the picture now. The first choir in the story of our church was built up in 1950 in Ivory Coast by Papa YANSUNNU, the second in command of second in command of Celestial Church of Christ. The first choir of Nigeria was made by some person, a small group, Papa Oshofa elected from Ajache, sent them to Benin. I don't have all the document here, but by the grace of God, next time I will show the picture to you of them, that small group. Papa Oshofa rose up that small group, I think of 4 or 5 persons, sent them to Makoko to join Papa Bada, who was then a trumpet blower, to join Papa Ajane Koko, Papa Oaje, and so and so. It was then in 1960 they made the first choir, first historical choir of our church in Nigeria. While all this thing was going up, nobody knew Papa Agbosi. He was then singing in the choir at Porto Novo with us. He was singing bass voice. He was a washer. By then he used to wash our prayer garment and iron them. He was very quiet and disciplined somebody. We knew him, one woman, we nicknamed Patrice, no, of the name of his firstborn, Patrice. He was very steady, nobody knew him, very calm somebody, peaceful. Till 1964. In that year, Papa YANSUNNU, first the second in command in Celestial Church of Christ, became the first senior evangelist of Celestial Church of Christ worldwide. By that time, Father was still assistant evangelist, and Papa Oshofa rose him to the rank of evangelist. A very bad news, a very bad event saddened of the church. The then church worker of Porto Novo, Supreme Head Quarter, whose name was Leader Humvenu Lagoye Peter, died by electrocution on the parish on December 31st, 1964, just some 4 or 5 hours before the night service, final service of the year. And Papa Oshofa was upset. He pulled on his 2 hands on his face like this, almost in tears. He did ask Papa YANSUNNU, the second in command by then of Celestial Church of Christ, who can we find as calm as that French deaf leader, Humvenu, who can take care with peace, with joy, with ability of the parish of Porto Novo, the supreme head. Immediately, Papa YANSUNNU, opening his mouth, he said, Frère B. Frère B. Frère B was the nickname we small choristers of then, we gave that assistant Alagba Benoit Dosu Agbaosi. People used to call him Benoit, but we were too small to call him by politesse, by his name. That's why we nickname him. We nickname Benoit, that is B. So in French, we used to call him Frère Benoit, that is in English, Brother B, Brother Bennett, B, like Bennett. When my Papa YANSUNNU said so, Papa Oshofa reassured himself. He said, maybe he could do. That's how Assistant Alagba Benoit Dosu Agbaosi, at the beginning of the year 1965, after the rite of initiation at Seme, Papa Oshofa anointed him as leader. And people used to call the late leader Lagoye Humvenu Peter Pierre, great leader. And he, Agbaosi, they used to call him small leader. Small leader because when Papa Oshofa anointed him leader, anointed Assistant Alagba Benoit, Papa Oshofa anointed him in January 1965 as a leader. His garden was that of leader, but his garden didn't have this. He was anointed leader, but his belt didn't have this thing. I don't know how to call it in English, but his belt has 3 crosses without this. That's why people used to call him small leader. Why the late one was called big leader? Because his belt had the 3 crosses plus what I show you now. So he left the choir to the place of church worker. And by then, our pastor, Papa Emmanuel, his reverend, his eminency, Reverend Pastor Emmanuel, mon bien frère Oshofa, hallelujah, God bless him, was in the choir in the choir was singing in the choir with us, singing the same voice, bass voice with Assistant Alagba Benoit of them, with us. He was singing. You will see the picture in the video. We were all in that second historical choir after that one, the first of Celestia in Ivory Coast. It was how people got to know about a certain Benoit Dosu Agbaosi. In 1964, for the pilgrimage of December of that very year, Papa Oshofa, during the 7 wakekeeping, used to ask people to wake and pray, because during the pilgrimation time, Jesus will show himself to people, to the Celestial Church of Christ, in nature. He told it during a wakekeeping. He said, you should pray to witness it, to be eyewitness of the apparition of Jesus during the pilgrimage of December of that year, in the year of 1964. And indeed, that night, Jesus appeared 3 times. 3 times running. Before that, previously to that, we saw like big monsters, big animals going from the sea and jumping in the air, big, very big, bigger than star building. It was a moonlight time, and all stopped. The wind stopped. The wave didn't move at all. The sea itself didn't move. The wave, there was not wave. Only those monsters, those creatures, wooing over somersaulting from the sea, up and down, up and down. After that, there was a big calm, and Jesus Christ, glory be to his holy name, appears in big, like this, moving. Those who were not asleep saw him like this. I witnessed him. He appeared in the front of the sky, and then on the sea, and then in the front, people saw him. And they scream, hallelujah everywhere, hallelujah, hallelujah. And our people from the Fisher space of Daume, those who initiated Awangbaum, it was on that day, that very night, they sang for the first time, Mihenilo, Papa do Mihenilo Agundagbewe, Mihenilo, Mihenilo Agundagbewe, Mihenilo, Papa do Mihenilo Agundagbewe, Mihenilo, Mihenilo Agundagbewe, Azetoja, Maikana wi, o wontoja, Maikana wi, Mihenilo, Papa do Mihenilo Agundagbewe, Mihenilo Agundagbewe. That's the origin of that song. They play the Ahwangbahum. Ahwangbahum mean the war, the drum people beat when they are going to war. Ahwangbahum can mean a car, a lorry, It can also mean drum. Ahwangba mean war. War. The drum they beat when they are going like Indian to war. Ahwangba. That night, those our people select from living on the water. We call them toffee. They sang that song. Everybody danced. In spite of that, some people were asleep. A certain woman named Cecile from that village, a village of fishermen, woke up suddenly from her sleep. And he said, he saw people dancing and shouting, Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah, Jesus, hallelujah. He said, what's wrong? What? They said, Jesus appeared 3 times. Yeah, she ran around. He turned around. Maybe in order to see Jesus, but it was too late. Too late to see Jesus. Jesus had already appeared 3 times in a big size up the sky. Secondly, on the sea. Calm sea. Perfect, quiet sea. And then it formed like that. Everybody, he was even moving his lift and his lifting. He lifted up his hand. Everybody saw it. As that woman woke up suddenly and could not be able to see Jesus, she vexed again herself and put her hand in the sand and was slowly rolling herself in the sand. And God, steadfast love God, God of pity, have pity of that woman, nicknamed Cecile, the mother of Cecile, and God transformed her at that right place into a prophetess, shocking prophetess. She started prophesying, and people took her to Papa Shofar on that night, and that's how that woman became a hot prophetess for God. Very hot prophetess for God. This is part of a story.